Hello everybody, this is Colin with Blocksmith again with the Learning with Blocksmiths series. Today we'll be taking a look at how to actually add interactivity to an animated imported model in the BlocksmithXR builder. But first off, if you haven't heard of Blocksmith before, we are a company that allows for the rapid creation of 3D scenes and games that work across platforms, including virtual reality. And today we'll be taking a look at, like I said, how you can actually interact with an imported 3D model that you can download off of the internet. So this is the third kind of stream that I've done about this Storybook imported model that I have right here in the builder. So I started off, if you haven't seen the other two streams, I started off with a great looking animated model by the Sketchfab user Pixel that I downloaded. And then I actually was able to, in the first stream, explore this scene a little bit and enter a first person mode. And then in the second stream, I actually added my own animations to this as well. So I'll play my scene really quick so you can see what those look like. So for example, I added animated fish into the scene, and an animated drawbridge that was opening up right over here. All right, so like I said, in this live stream today, I'll be seeing how just simple it is to actually add interactions to this scene to trigger some of those animations and maybe even trigger some other things as well. And just to kind of break down what that word means, interaction can mean a lot of things, but really what this will mean with the builder is I'll have my player, which is right over here, walk over and click on some objects, click on the drawbridge over here, for example, and then based on their command, that will trigger the drawbridge animation. So they'll actually go up to it, press on it, and then or get close to it, and the drawbridge will open. So I'll be working with some interactions and also with some triggers too. And that'll be the first thing that I try and make. So I have my drawbridge animation that I actually only want to play when my player gets close enough. So that'll be one of the first pieces of interactivity that I build into this scene, which is a zone that my player will enter to trigger or to start this drawbridge animation. So I just added into the scene a trigger object that basically allows me to detect whenever I enter a specific area. So that's the trigger's really main powerful strength, is just determining when something enters it. And I can use conditions in an event to determine that only the player enters, when only the player enters my trigger, that's when I'll actually play that drawbridge animation. So the event for that, like I said, these are all very simple event-based programming commands, and all I need to do is just add a new event. So I have an event here that now says when this is going to be entered by an object, so it's kind of waiting to do something until it gets entered. And you can see right here that it says do nothing. So right now, even if anything enters this, nothing will happen. However, I want to change this so if my player, and only my player, enters this area, then this trigger will send it, or basically tell the drawbridge to open. So let's see how to do that. All right, so I have my first event here, which is perfect when it's entered by kind of any object. But I want to make sure that it's only the player entering it. So I'm going to add a new condition line using the little ampersand or and button here. And my next condition will check for the player. So if the target, this trigger gets entered, and if it's the player, then it will do a specific action. So that action will just be to have another object, in this case my drawbridge, to play its animation. And I have a little warning right here that just told me that my animation on my drawbridge has just simply been changed to play at a trigger rather than just playing at the start of my scene. All right, so let me just double check everything. All right, it's waiting till the player enters this area or this zone to play the drawbridge animation. I think this is ready to test out. So I'm going to go up to my play button and check play viewer, or click on play viewer to actually enter that first person mode that I have. Whoops, and I just fell into the river. That can kind of happen sometimes. All right, but now let's actually check out my trigger. So it should be around here. So right around here when I enter, there it goes. My drawbridge is opening, and it looks like it might squash me. Woo, right at my feet. Perfect. And now I can enter my castle. Cool. All right, so one other piece of interactivity or something that I can give my player is the ability to turn on some of these, or kind of light some of these torches. So to start that process, first thing I need to do is have those torches not be burning. You know, I want my player to be able to go up, touch them, and then have them kind of ignite, kind of like this player is a witch or a wizard. So first thing I need to do to make that work is find my torches. I'll use these, I'll call these outside torches, or outside torch, and I'll do the same, and I'll just program these two. All right, and what I want is for the fire effect, so my fire little flame there, to not appear at the start of the scene. So I'm going to click on my little campfire, and what I can choose here is to deactivate it at the start of the scene. So I'll check that box, and now when the scene begins, this fire effect will not appear. So let's play the viewer again and take a look at that, I think it was the torch on the left side. Perfect. So now I have that torch deactivated, or at least the fire effect on the torch deactivated at start. So basically, now I can just add a very simple interaction event to the whole torch. So I'll say on interaction start, or when that really translates to when this is clicked, then I can have this do something. However, I want another object that's actually inside of this group, specifically the campfire, to just activate, to light. All right, so now I'm going to do that with my other torch. So on my right side, that's the simple process of deactivating the fire so it doesn't appear at start. And now I can simply copy this event over to my other torch. However, this little green arc is showing me something really important. Right now, this interaction event is actually pointing to the other torch because I copied it off of that object. So what I simply need to do is just click on other object again and have this torch reference its own fire. All right, now when I play the viewer, I should be able to open up the drawbridge by walking close to it and ignite both my torches on either side of my drawbridge by clicking on them. All right, the drawbridge is opening successfully, and then when it does, I'll see if I can light my torches. All right, here we go. Click one, beautiful, and let's light the other. Nice. Now I could do that with all my torches around, and I think I will, but for the sake of the little bit of time in the live stream, I think I'm going to try and do a couple other things before we finish with this. All right, so let me take a look around my 3D model here and see what else I can animate or add in. All right, so I have some people over here and some animals. I have a few trees and a forest over there. However, I found these deer earlier that I really liked, and I wanted to try and do something a little fun with them. Maybe just spook them a little bit if I kind of get close to them or touch them. So yeah, I'll select the deer, and this is actually a child of the 3D model itself. So these deer are not an imported Blocksmith object or Google Poly object. They're actually part of this fantasy book 3D model that I can animate right now. All right, so I'm going to click on animation, and I'll simply have these deer just kind of jump up into the air, kind of like they got frightened a little bit. And I do want this to loop back and forth because I want them to go up and then come down, which means I only want it to loop once. I don't want them to be constantly hopping. I only want it to go up and then come down once. This is going to be pretty fast because I want them to seem like they're startled, startle the deer. So they'll jump pretty quickly. And I'll also have them ease in, so they're kind of accelerating into their jump rather than decelerating out of it. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I have my animation. However, it's set to play at start, which I don't want. I want it to play at a trigger because I want my player to be able to go over to these deer and click on them. And to do that, I need an event that's kind of listening or waiting for that click by the player. So I'm going to add that event, and here I have it, interaction start, then do something, which is on the deer group, simply play animation 1 from its beginning. All right, let me go play the viewer and see if I can find these deer. All right, I'm going to light my torches first because that's kind of fun, and jump down here because the deer are over in this area. All right, let me see if I can kind of sneak up on them and then surprise them. Whoa! Perfect. So that kind of just little jump was exactly what I wanted to add. You know, just a fun little way to kind of scare the deer a little bit by clicking on them. And now I can add just a little bit more activity to my scene using some of the objects that I added last week. So for example, I will try and I want to see if I can actually catch my fish. So I have 3 fish in here. Each one is animated, and they're a little big for me right now, so I'm going to shrink them down a little bit because I don't want this next part to be too hard or too easy. I want it to be a little difficult, so I want them to be smaller. That may have just kind of give you an idea of what I want to do. I want to see if I can click on these fish to catch them. So I'll shrink them down a little bit so they're harder to click on. And I will enable a setting on each one of them. I'll make them what we call a pickup object. So now I can actually pick up each of these fish. But first I have to be able to actually click on them. That's the tricky part. All right, I'll make that a little bit smaller. Okay. What I want to have happen though, because they do have these long animations on them, I want that animation to actually stop. So I'm going to add a simple event to each fish, which says when it is picked up, then I want the animation of my stealth to stop, just like that. And I will just copy that event and paste it on all 3 fish. And let's see what happens. All right, so I'm going to play my viewer. And let's see if I can catch one of these fish now. All right, one's going right. Oh, right under the bridge. Get it. Oh, darn. Okay, I might have to go down. Grab it. It was much harder than I thought. Okay, yes, I got the fish. Sweet. Looks like it's still kind of alive too. Well, it's a catch and release game, so I'll toss the little fish back in there. But yeah, now I can capture each little fish, and if I wanted, I could bring them over, to my villagers or something like that. All right, I think this is a great little way to add some interactivity to my scene. I have my torches over here that I can light, and my drawbridge that I can now trigger just by getting close to it. There we go. And of course those deer over here somewhere. There we go. Woo! That I can of course scare and into jumping for me. All right, let's see, any more fish? There we go, last one. Little fish. All right, I feel bad, I'll put him back. Oh, looks like I fell into the water too. All right, so that was the main pieces of interactivity that I wanted to add to my medieval castle storybook. And definitely remember that you can try this challenge out for yourself. Find an animated 3D model that you love, download it, and import it into the BlocksmithXR builder. And from there, you can start adding your own animations and interactions to any downloadable 3D model that you can find on the internet. So good luck exploring, and I'd love to see everybody's projects that have those shared interactive and animated 3D models. So definitely publish them, and we'd love to see them. Thank you for joining the live stream today. Once again, my name's Colin, and don't forget to subscribe to the Blocksmith YouTube channel. You can see all of our live streams here, including tons about the challenge days that we just finished up, if you want to try out some of those projects as well. All right, thank you for today. Thank you for joining me today, and we'll see you next week.